What's up, YouTube netizens? This is CyberSquidward, and today we're going to be talking about how to get into cybersecurity. So without further ado, let's get into it. So step number one in getting into cybersecurity would be to, quite obviously, get a computer. Without a computer, what are you going to do? I mean, come on. But don't just get a computer. I mean, in fact, if you're watching me right now, you're likely on a computer or at least a smartphone. So that's a step in the right direction. But understand your computer. And I would recommend you get a desktop. And here's why. You need to understand the ins and outs of computer systems like the back of your hand. I mean, you're not going to take your car into a mechanic who has never opened up a car engine bay and been inside of it before, obviously. So this is the same thing with anybody in the IT field and cybersecurity, most especially. So get your computer, understand where the different parts may lie, where the CPU rests on the motherboard, where the random access memory is, or the RAM, storage peripherals like SATA going into SSDs and HDDs, all that, GPUs. Understand computers like you would understand anything else that an expert would. And that leads me into point two. Take a course on IT systems. A course on IT systems is going to further your knowledge into how not just computer systems work physically, but how they interact with each other and the different layers in which the user interacts with computers. So Google IT course would be a good option, as well as IBM has one. Just get an IT certificate that gives you that fundamental understanding of how information systems work. So that will lead me into another point. Get off of just using Windows and or Mac OSs. You especially need to get into Linux and command line utilities. These are going to be highly important because if you just understand Windows, you're not going to be a very effective cybersecurity professional. You really need to pick up Linux and command line interfaces, whether that be through Windows PowerShell, which is a very important tool, or the Linux command line. So you got to get comfortable with those environments, so to speak. Now, understand the underlying architecture of the internet, whether it be IP, TCP, UDP, etc. All those you need to understand because the internet is how data is transferred from one computer to another. It's like it's the information highway system, and it's how computers can fall vulnerable to hacking attempts is via the internet. Unless you're looking to attack air gap systems, which if you are, I mean, kudos to you because that is quite a difficult operation, and yeah, that's next level stuff right there. But understanding how the internet works, how data is transferred via packets, how it's routed through the different networks, DNSs, etc., will be crucial in excelling in the cyber security space. So once you understand the underlying architecture of the internet, begin to understand secure connection methods such as VPNs, proxies, or ProxyChains. Now, what is a VPN? A VPN is a virtual private network, and it's a network where you connect to through your base network, and it offers you a kind of gap between your home network or your base network and whatever it is that you're trying to interact with. If anybody was to ever try to trace back where any, you know, let's say you're doing a penetration test where it came from, right? They wouldn't see your IP, and this is how hackers operate. They like to stay anonymous, and revealing your local IP address is not staying anonymous. So VPNs are crucial. Also proxies, which are like VPNs, but they offer a bit of less security, but you can definitely enhance that via proxy chains. These are all things that you need to become extremely knowledgeable in. And after understanding secure connection methods, you should get into understanding and operating and maintaining VPSs or virtual private servers. Virtual private server is very similar to a VPN, except it is a remote server that you access as opposed to just a network that you're accessing. You're actually accessing physical computer architecture via your base network or your base machine, so to speak. VPS providers include Amazon's Web Services, Microsoft AWS, Alibaba Cloud, and a host of other VPS hosts, no pun intended. So once you understand how to set up, maintain, and operate VPSs, understand the types of attacks most common in today's world, and start from the basement level. So the first one that you should, familiarize yourself with are brute force attacks. Now, these have been around for a long, long time. I mean, brute force was one of the first attack vectors on computer systems. And basically what a brute force will do is try to guess likely millions of times in order to determine what a password is and, unlock a system. Now, we don't really see brute forces as much anymore just because of the sheer fact that the time it takes to crack these passwords. It's very similar to putting a million monkeys into a room and having them type gibberish and eventually getting a Shakespearean novel out of it, except you're getting a password. And with today's systems and length of passwords, we don't see this as much just because it's not really feasible in any means. But building upon that, we have dictionary attacks, which is similar to a brute force, but you use a dictionary, so to speak, of very commonly used passwords to guess a system's password. Phishing, which I think we've all dealt with, where you'll get a suspicious email, getting you to click a link, and from there you get a malware load injected into your computer. And the middle attacks, the use of keyloggers, whether they be physical keyloggers or virtual keyloggers, these are all very important. And also research ways to protect your own system. So once you've understood these attack vectors, research ways to secure your own system, because these are going to help you not just in your own, system, not getting hacked, but when you translate that into bigger and bigger systems, bigger and bigger networks, you can understand the fundamentals of securing systems from unauthorized access. So we're talking about secure passwords, password managers, two-factor authenticators, etc. These are all very important in securing systems. And after that, just start hacking shit. I mean, that's where you learn. You're not going to learn just by, watching or reading into stuff. You need to actually get hands-on knowledge in how to attack systems. But now, do this legally now. That's the caveat here. I don't recommend that you access networks without authorization. That's a big, big no-no. So, try to hack your own systems, whether it be your own Wi-Fi, your own home computer, or set up a VPN, or excuse me, a VPS, and try to hack that. Also, there's apps like Hack the Box that allow you to kind of play around and test different ideas, different systems, but just try to hack so that not only you understand different vectors, but you get into the mind of a hacker. And speaking of which, now is a good time to maybe go into the three types of hackers. So the first type is what we call a white hat hacker. And white hat hackers tend to be people who just hack, but with authorization into systems to see where their vulnerabilities lie. That's their job, basically. But it's all above board, and the people that they're working with know that they're trying to breach their systems. So an example of this would be a penetration tester. And these are just people that, like I said, hack systems with the okay of the organization they're working with. Now, the next level would be called a gray hat hacker. Now, gray hat hackers, they tend to hack into and penetration test systems without the prior knowledge of the entity in which they're accessing. So it's that gray area between white and then finally the black hat hackers who just hack and steal data and then do with it what they please, whether it's sell it on the dark web or just dump it out into the proverbial streets of the internet. So whichever one you choose is up to you, but just know that those are the three types of hackers that are colloquially recognized in cybersecurity. So now, study and attain a certification. Well, this is going to be important because having certifications basically proves to prospective employers that, hey, I know what I'm talking about. And we have a myriad of certificates, and we're actually going to be going into different ones in a later video, but ones you got include Certified Information Systems Security Professional, or CISSP, Certified Information Systems Auditor, CISA, Certified Information Security Manager, CISM, and also CompTIA Security Plus. I mean, and there's way more than that too, and we're going to be going quite in depth into a lot of these different certificates and which one might be the best for you, depending on what branch you would like to go into. But get a certificate so that you can show prospective, employers, clients, whoever, that you know what you're talking about. But this leads into another facet. Getting a degree. Is a degree necessary in the field of cybersecurity? And the answer to that I would give would be yes and no. Yes, if you have the time and resources, you want to spend 3 or 4 years studying to get a degree, go ahead and do it. It's definitely going to be something that's going to help you on your resume, or even just building that basic foundational understanding of cybersecurity. But again, with certifications, getting them, a lot of the time they have open platform, so to speak. You don't have to be registered in a school or anything to take the certification test, and you should be able to get them if you understand the knowledge. Again, it's about core knowledge and fundamentals. That's how you get a job. That's how you understand, because you don't need a certificate to access bug bounty programs. If you discover a bounty, they're not going to say, hey, do you have a degree? You can obviously claim the bounty if it's within the parameters. So again, degrees aren't so necessary, but they are definitely a plus. So leads into the next point, keeping up to date with the latest security threats. Now, you want to stay constantly up to date, especially in the space, because it's evolving very quickly. And you don't want to be somebody who's out of date 5, 10 years trying to secure a network system and then getting succumbing, let's say, to a quite common or known about vulnerability. You gotta stay up to date in this field and sharpen your sword, so to speak, every once in a while, because the threat actors are growing more and more sophisticated. We're seeing less of like I would say, decentralized and a more centralized means of attack threat actors in the space, including, nation states and whatnot. And basically, the type of the type of malware, including ransomwares and other malware, are just growing in sophistication by the day. So staying up to date is key. Now, next point is to pick up a programming language like Python or Go. Having a programming language under your belt is very key to success, because a lot of these systems that you're going to be using can be automated, and also just understanding the fundamental software layer that is the primary vector of attack for hackers going into a system unauthorized. I mean, it's not so common that you see, I would say, like a physical access. I mean, it is there, but the primary way to access systems is via the software layer. So understanding how software operates, and again, just being able to write code to streamline and automate processes is very important. So Python or Go or two, but just picking up a very common language would be a plus. And once you get all that under your belt, you're really built a strong foundation into getting into cybersecurity. And once you've done that, I mean, the branches open up to where you can go off into, including cybersecurity specialists, cybersecurity technical architects, information security and vulnerability analysis, penetration testers, and security and cybersecurity administrators, engineers, principals, and technicians. So the possibilities are endless, and as you get a furtherance in your understanding, you'll be able to discern which field or branch you would like to go off into, and focus on and specialize in more, because I mean, the proverbial rabbit hole is deep when it comes to this, and you can really excel in even just one of these branches. You don't have to learn everything. That's just how big the space is growing, and it's growing by the day. So that's it. Stay tuned for our next video. Hopefully we're going to go into certification systems next, or something similar. But yeah, this is just the beginning of this channel. So awesome. Glad you can join me. Take care. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. and have a good one. Stay safe out there. Peace.